before becoming the official Jeopardy! Host 2 years after Alex Trebek's 2020 death, Jennings, 50, famously broke game show records in 2004, winning 72 consecutive games and becoming the highest-earning American game show contestant at the time, racking up $2.5 million in winnings. However, despite his prestigious position as host and his historic Jeopardy! Run as a contestant, Jennings is still not getting the star treatment he quipped in an Instagram post earlier this week, posting a photo of a parking sign on a brick wall. To see parking only. A valid permit must be displayed at all times. The notice read, Jennings jokingly interpreted it as an exclusive space for contestants on Jeopardy's Tournament of Champions TOC, on which he never competed. Well, this is very hurtful for those of us who never got invited to a Tournament of Champions, he quipped. Guess it's the far end of the parking lot again for me. D. Guzman, per TV Insider, won 5 consecutive Jeopardy! Games in 2022, winning more than $100,000 in the process, before moving on to the 2024 Tournament of Champions in 2024, where he was knocked out in the semifinals. Jennings, for his part, has put his sense of humor on display both on Jeopardy! And social media for years. Most recently, he made headlines for taking a shady swipe at the game show and its initial decision to have executive producer Mike Richards as Trebek's successor, via a Bluesky repost comparing how the papal conclave should choose a new pope after Pope Francis's death in April. Ken Jennings has long been one of the most beloved figures in Jeopardy! History. As the longest-running champion in the show's history and a fan favorite, his wit, intellect, and humility have earned him a spot in the hearts of viewers around the world. However, in a surprising turn of events, Jennings recently found himself the target of a roast from a 5-time Jeopardy! Champion who took aim at him over a very hurtful moment that many fans weren't expecting. While fans are used to seeing Ken Jennings in the role of the affable, unflappable host, this time the tables were turned. The moment in question has sparked debate among Jeopardy! Fans, with some defending Jennings and others agreeing with the roast. Let's break down this moment, the fallout from it, and what it means for both Ken Jennings and the show. The very hurtful moment. What happened? The moment that has caused such a stir occurred during a recent Jeopardy! Episode, in which Ken Jennings made a comment that many saw as an offhand remark at the expense of a contestant. The exchange took place during a special week of the show featuring returning champions. As the game progressed, a contestant named Nina Patterson, a 5-time champion, made an insightful comment during the Final Jeopardy! Round, showcasing her vast knowledge and impressive intellect. However, Ken Jennings, who was hosting the episode, didn't seem to take kindly to Nina's confident response. In a remark that many fans found patronizing, Jennings dismissed her answer with a quick jab. Well, that's certainly an answer, Nina, before continuing the segment. The comment, while seemingly innocuous at first, seemed to put a damper on Nina's excitement after what was a remarkable performance. It didn't sit well with many, who felt that Jennings, known for his respectful tone, had let something slip that felt more pointed than playful. Nina Patterson, clearly not one to let a slight slide, responded later in an interview, calling the moment very hurtful and unprofessional. Patterson, a fan favorite for her quick thinking and strategic gameplay, expressed that she was taken aback by Jennings' comment, especially since she had always viewed him as a role model. The roast. A 5-time winner takes aim. The real fireworks came when 5-time Jeopardy! Champion Stephen Garrett weighed in on the situation. Garrett, who has had a long-standing rivalry with Jennings on the show, took to social media to comment on the exchange. Known for his biting humor and sharp wit, Garrett didn't hold back when discussing the moment. In a Twitter post that quickly went viral, Garrett wrote, Ken buddy, I know we've had our differences on the show, but roasting a 5-time champ like Nina Patterson? Really? That was cold, man. If you want to roast someone, make sure it's not someone who actually has the trivia chops to back up their confidence. Very hurtful moment, dude. Come on. The tweet, packed with sarcasm and humor, wasn't just a simple critique of the comment Jennings made, it was a full-blown roast. Garrett's followers, many of whom had followed the Jeopardy! Drama between him and Jennings for years, jumped in with their own jabs at the host. Steve and Garrett just came for Ken Jennings' soul. #Jeopardy roast, a one-tweet read. Another added, Ken is used to playing the game, but when the tables turn. The roast didn't stop there. Garrett later appeared on a podcast and was asked for more details about his tweet. In his characteristic style, Garrett didn't shy away from the heat. Listen, I've always respected Ken's ability to answer questions and keep his cool, but when it comes to actual people's skills, he sometimes misses the mark. It was like a dad joke gone wrong, but on live TV. And if you're gonna be a game show host, you gotta be able to balance the humor with respect. Garrett also didn't hold back from giving his opinion about the direction the show has taken since Trebek's passing. He remarked that Jeopardy! Could use a little more excitement and less of the stale interactions between hosts and contestants. Ken Jennings responds, is he taking the criticism seriously? While Ken Jennings has always maintained a reputation for being quick-witted, humble, and polite, his response to the roast was surprisingly measured. In a comment made during a post on his personal Instagram account, Jennings acknowledged Garrett's criticism, but in a way that was both humorous and self-deprecating. I may not always get it right, but it's hard to argue with Steven when it comes to roasting. He's a 5-time champ for a reason. Jennings wrote. He continued, on a serious note, I absolutely respect all the players that come on Jeopardy, and if I ever came off as disrespectful, that wasn't my intention. Nina, Steven, and the other players inspire me every day. Keep competing, and I'll keep doing my best to host. The post seemed to acknowledge the mistake without being overly defensive. Jennings has always had a high level of self-awareness, and his response showed that he understood the gravity of the situation without escalating it further. His fans were quick to praise his professionalism, while others appreciated his ability to laugh at himself. However, despite his diplomatic response, Jennings still found himself facing some backlash. Some fans didn't believe his apology went far enough and were left wondering whether he was truly sorry for the remark or simply trying to defuse a potentially bigger issue. As the situation unfolded, social media exploded with different opinions, and it became clear that Jeopardy! Was now at the center of an ongoing debate about humor, professionalism, and accountability in the game show world. What this means for Jeopardy! This moment of tension between Ken Jennings and a former champion is more than just a public roast. It's indicative of the growing pressure surrounding the show and its evolving place in the entertainment industry. With the departure of Alex Trebek and the ongoing search for a permanent host, Jeopardy! Has been in a state of flux. Many fans are nostalgic for Trebek's dignified presence, and while Jennings has done a commendable job as a host, there are always critics who question his approach, especially when incidents like this arise. Moreover, the changing tone of Jeopardy! Has sparked conversations about how the show should evolve. Should it remain a stuffy intellectual competition, or should it embrace a more casual, humorous atmosphere? Is humor, like Garrett's roast, something that should be encouraged, or does it run the risk of undermining the show's credibility? For Ken Jennings, this very hurtful moment is a reminder that, while humor is often a part of his charm, it can also backfire when the balance between wit and respect is tipped. As the show's future unfolds, Jennings and the Jeopardy! Team may need to navigate a delicate balancing act, making sure the game stays fresh and engaging without alienating fans who expect a certain level of class and professionalism.